What's up, Titan fans? How we doing? Welcome back to another episode from the What's Up Titan Fans pod, where we're going to go over the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in a pregame episode. And it's been a few weeks since I've been online, right? Or maybe a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks, with the holidays and everything. I haven't done much. I didn't do anything last week for last week's game, and the week before kind of trickled out toward the end of the week. And then next week, I'll be out at the beginning of the week because of New Year's. So, toward after New Year's, Thursday or Friday, I'll put up another episode, but it's going to be a little gap in between. We got all these holidays right now. So let me go ahead and insert the plug as we're waiting for people to join into the channel, though. If you're not following me on YouTube, TikTok, and X, make sure to follow me on all three platforms. The handle's the same no matter where you go. It's the What's Up Titans Fans pod, where I put out videos all throughout the week. I'm talking Monday through Friday, pre-game videos, post-game videos, the ESPN Power Rankings. Yes, I missed them all this last week, but they're going to come back to you. We're going to try to do a quick little catch-up right now. We'll go over some of the Power Rankings real quick. We'll go over the pre-game stuff and look at some possible draft picks real quick. This might be a little bit of a longer episode as we're waiting for the Tennessee Titans game to kick off at 1 o'clock. That is our standard kickoff time each and every single week because we don't get prime time games, baby. That's how we roll. We're right underneath the radar. So let's go ahead and hop into things. So look right here, the Tennessee Titans. We're at the bottom of the division when you're looking over here. 3 wins, 12 losses. It has been a tough first year for rookie head coach Brian Callahan. This is not what we expected, right? When the season started, we had the off-season hype. We were prepared. We were ready. We were ready for this modernized offense he was going to bring, and we did not get it. We got no modernized offense whatsoever. It still looks like the same old Vrabel type offense. I know he's rocking the same roster basically as the year before. We did get a few new shiny objects in the offseason, right? Some few new shiny players. We got Calvin Ridley, which he didn't really pan out too much. I mean, he had a couple good games, but other than that, where has he been? I know he has Will Levis throwing to him, and recently it's been Mason Rudolph, which isn't an upgrade. If you look at their stats, they are so similar. It is not an upgrade at all. Then, we got Tony Pollard, but we got rid of Derrick Henry. You see how good Derrick Henry is doing right now, and that we got Tony Pollard. Yes, he broke 1,000 yards. He's a 1,000-yard rusher, but Derrick Henry's about to be another 2,000-yard rusher. He's close to it. It's possible he's going to get it this season. I know there's a couple games left. Depends on if they play him or whatnot. But, he was a 2,000-yard rusher for us. Hey, we got Deion Pringle in here. He said, "What's up? Hey, what's up, brother? Appreciate you being here." But yeah, so we got Tony Pollard now instead of Derrick Henry. So, it's a bit of a downgrade. We did get some few new shiny objects. And then if you look at the power rankings real quick, they do a good job explaining some of this. Hey, he says, "Go Lions." Yeah, there's a lot of Lions fans this year. Hey, Dan Campbell did an excellent job. And I'm hoping that's what Brian Callahan can do for us. I know Dan Campbell, his first year, it was a tough year for Dan Campbell. I think they won 3 games their very first year. And look, right now we are a 3-win team. We're in the same boat. And if, we only got 2 games left, 2 division rivals. We got the Jags this week, the Texans next week. I know we beat the Texans once. You really think they're going to let us do that again? And especially it's going to be in the Oilers throwback jerseys. They're all hype about that stuff. They're not going to let us win down there in Houston. Then, for the Jags, who knows? We're both terrible teams for this week. So who knows? I don't believe in Mason Rudolph at all as our QB. When we had Will Levis there, we had the potential, for his ceiling to be high, which we saw spurts of it throughout his 2-year career here in Tennessee. But most of the time we were at the low where this man's just flicking the ball backwards and doing these crazy, crazy things. But yeah, the Tennessee Titans, though, if you look at the power rankings, we're ranked number 29 coming into this week for this game. But the one of the bright spots besides Tony Pollard for this season is the rookie of the year for this team. As ESPN put it, is cornerback Jarvis Brownlee Jr. He's been outstanding. If you look at what they said right here, Brownlee took assignments against 2 of the best receivers in the game. He helped keep Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase both under 100 yards receiving. That is insane. Hey, he said, "I subbed my glorious game." Hey, I appreciate the sub, brother. Hey, shout out to Deion Pringle. We got a new sub right there. And then, but yeah, so Jarvis Brownlee Jr., he's had a good rookie year. So we've had some good, shining stars this season. We saw Tony Pollard have a good season. Granted, we didn't see him enough of, hey, Seb, hey, appreciate it, brother. Hey, hope to see you back next time. Then Tony Pollard looked good. Too bad we didn't see more of Tajay Spears coming in through the season. I thought it would be closer with their carries, but it hasn't been. But at least we got to see Tony Pollard, break his 1,000-yard mark, I believe, for the third season in a row for him. We got to see Jarvis Brownlee Jr. come out there. What a good pickup he was in the draft. L'Jarius Sneed, we didn't see much of him. He was a kind of a disappointment. He played in, 4 games this year. He's been injured the entire year. Chidobe Awuzie, he's been injured majority of the year as well, but he did come in, and he did decent for us these last couple of weeks when he did play. Hey, Moham, he's got the wave going. What's up, brother? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. Appreciate the comments, even though it's just a wave. Hey, I'm waving back, brother. But then we got to see T Sweat, right? He's another big addition for us. We got to see T Sweat come in. He's looking pretty good for us. He looks like he could be a stud. I know he's had a couple down games, but for most of the season, T Sweat's been positive, right? He was a good addition to this team. And so, yeah, we're right here at 29. We're right above the Jags. And look, this is a game we look, as a Titans fan, I want us to win every single week. I do. As a fan, I want us to win. But when you're looking, at things like the draft that's coming up, and we basically have nothing to play for, we're out of it. We only got 3 wins. You got to start looking at these draft positions, because if you look right here, we have the 4th pick in the draft, right, currently. The Jags have the 3rd, which we can look at the mock draft. They'll show us. We have the 4th pick right now. And this is Tankathon, if you're unfamiliar with them. They're going over the 2025 mock draft of where they would pick players, based on where the picks are currently at. So right now we're drafting after the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? They got us getting Cam Ward. But if we lose this week, we'd at least be bumped up, ahead of the Jags. We would be in the top 3 for picks. And it all depends on that last week against the Texans. But who really thinks we're going to beat the Texans? So that would give us a top 3 pick. I know the 2 big guys for the draft currently, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. And, they'll probably end up going there, because it'd be so hard to bump them. I mean, they would have to win one of especially the Giants, they only a 2-win team. They would have to basically win these last 2 games, which that would be tough for the Giants to do. I'd have to see who they're playing. But, yeah, we definitely want to be a top 3 pick, hopefully get, they call it a blue chip player, someone who can come in, change the franchise. Whether it's going to be a top tier receiver, edge rusher, maybe even a quarterback, but I don't know how I feel about getting some of these rookie quarterbacks. I guess Shedeur is in there, but you saw how he played in the bowl game. It wasn't that good. This is the Alamo Bowl against BYU, and he's struggling. I know the Colorado's not the greatest team, and they don't have the best strength of schedule out there. But, and the same thing with Cam Ward, it's like, I don't know. So, but, I would support whoever they draft, right? If they draft one of these guys, hey, I'm all for it. And I will be behind it. But if you look at some of the veteran QBs that's out there for this offseason, hey, you're going to get Kirk Cousins. He's going to be out there, and he's going to be at a veteran minimum contract because he got a ridiculous contract with Atlanta, and they're going to be paying most of the bill right there. Then you're going to have Sam Darnold, which he's going to be probably a lot of money if the Vikings don't re-sign him or whatever. If they want to move on with J.J. McCarthy. So. But anyway, enough draft talk. Let's go ahead and get into the game. As you see, we played them before. It was a low-scoring, boring game, 10-6, horrible game, right? You look at the previous game, you might be able to see how this game's going to go. But if we click on it real quick, we'll see who ESPN has. Right here, they got us winning. They gave us a 58% chance. He said, hey, Babu Boy, he said, you guys should hire Mike Vrabel. He would be a good head coach. Hey, that is a burn, brother. That is a burn. Yes. Vrabel, yes, he was a good coach, right? He was a player's coach, He did get us wins. He did. It was starting to snowball downhill, right, as his coaching career continued. But he was a coach of the year at one point. And some of that had to do with the GM making a horrible decision. It wasn't fully on Vrabel, right? You had John Robinson trading away A.J. Brown, drafting players like Isaiah Wilson, Caleb Farley. We have had so many busts. And some of this, these players not being developed, some of that is on Vrabel, right? Because Vrabel, he's one of those guys where he didn't let rookies come in, make an impact right off the bat. He's like, you have to earn it. You have to earn your spot, Instead of just, you drafted this guy first round, second round, let him come in, let him play, let him develop as a player. But no, he'd be like, you got to earn it. You got to sit behind this veteran for a while, when the veteran is absolute trash. So some of it's on Vrabel for not developing the guys, but a lot of it is on John Robinson for not drafting good players, right? He just drafted who he wanted to. Young Bro said, trading folks from your defense and keeping washed up folks is why y'all see a good season every 5 years. Yeah, I mean, we've had some good seasons. I mean, under the Tannehill era, we had a lot of good seasons. Most of those were good. I mean, we were the number 1 seed one of those seasons. We made it to the NFC Championship game. But, hey, it is what it is. I mean, the AFC Championship game. But, things just didn't work out, And, yeah, you're right. We do trade away some folks. I mean, some from offense, some for defense. I mean, I think A.J. Brown, a lot of people will agree, was the worst trade in NFL history, I mean, that was horrible. Do you guys think you should stick with Levis? No, I do not. Levis is tough. I don't mind him being on the team as a backup, like let us go out there. If we're going to keep Levis, let us go out and get a good veteran QB. I'm talking like who's going to be out there? Kirk Cousins. I still believe in Kirk Cousins. He's coming off the Achilles injury and stuff like that. Or even get a Aaron Rodgers. I know he's really, really old. He's like a 1 to 2 year Band-Aid. Get one of them. Maybe Sam Darnold. I don't know if I fully believe in Sam Darnold, even though he's had this one good year. But, he's been terrible a majority of his career. So, but let Levis just sit behind somebody. And then we can draft another QB, one of those player that's coming out in a year or two, maybe like a Manning or a Nico or something like that, who's going to be out in a year or two, and just let one of these old veterans just take the reins for a little bit. And then whenever we get into the new stadium, have a brand new, shiny first round QB out there to lead the way. He said, Young Bro said, my mom's a Titans fan. Just kidding. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, Titans fans, it's hard. It's a very niche market, right? There's not a lot of Titan fans out there. So, and especially with us being so bad right now, because sometimes, when we were good and we were the number 1 seed and we beat Kansas City in the season and stuff like that, and we were looking pretty good. We made it to the AFC Championship games. I mean, there were some bandwagon fans. People, hey, they all of a sudden are Titans fans, But this right here, when we're a 3-win team, this is where you see the true fans, right? This is where you see the ones that's going to be here through the rough times. HJC said, I like the Browns. Yeah, Browns, they're on a tough road as well, right? They're trying to figure out their QB situation, Deshaun Watson. I think I heard they're going to be restructuring his contract or something like that. And, and they got Jameis Winston out there. He's like one of the best characters in the league, but the Browns do have they're on a rough thing. He said basically the same team. Yes, CJ2K era was the best. Yeah, if you was a Madden guy, you loved the CJ2K era. Fastest guy on the game, 99 speed. You're back there, CJ2K. You had Vince Young, outstanding, as a video game QB. I liked him in real life. It's a shame he had all those mental issues, but. Let's go ahead and look at some of this. So for the injury report for the game, we're talking Otis Reese, inactive, Dylan Radin's inactive, NPF, Jaquan Jackson. So it's probably going to see, what's that dude, that little wide receiver everybody likes, little white wide receiver. He's going to be back there receiving kicks more than likely. The Nick Folk is inactive. So I know Narvison, he ended up not playing so well, and they end up signing another kicker. So we'll see how that kicker plays out for us, right? But let's look at how we played the last time. I mean, it was a boring game. That's how you can kind of see how we did and how things are going to go for this game. Like I said, I always hope we win, but we need to lose. We really do. Because if we look at the box score for the last time we play, I mean, they had Mac Jones out there. He shouldn't be playing. It should be Sunshine out there, right? Trevor Lawrence. Will Levis isn't going to be playing this game. It's going to be Mason Rudolph. So, it's going to be a little different. And last time it was in Nissan Stadium. This time it's going to be down in Duval, right? So we get to see how it's going to be down there. Most of the time, their stadium's pretty empty. He said Super Bowl predictions. Oh, man. If, like, for the NFC, I mean, you gotta pick the Lions, right? The Lions, best team in the NFL. You know, I know they have a couple losses on the season, but the Lions are outstanding. Where are they in the power rankings? They're probably number one, right? Oh no, they got the Chiefs number one, but the Lions, hey, number two, right here. You know, according to ESPN power rankings. You know, you gotta pick the Lions. I mean, if it's not the Lions, you gotta pick the Eagles because. Yeah, he said safe pick. Yes, I mean, if you look at the playoffs teams for the NFC, it's gonna be the Lions, the Eagles, the Vikings. I mean, it's gonna be one of them. I mean, maybe the Packers, but I mean, the Eagles is by far the second team. They're the best team on paper when you're looking at like the roster. I mean, you look at the Eagles roster. I mean, how do they even have three losses? You know, you're talking Hurts back there at QB, A.J. Brown, Smith at receiver. They got Shaquan Barkley, runner back. Like, how does this team lose? That's what's insane about it, But they have 3 losses on the season. I mean, they lost to the Commanders, right? And the Commanders, one of the surprise teams that Jaden Daniels come out there, and he's been spectacular this year. But, yeah, I agree with the AFC that you said, the Bills. I think the Bills, because I think the Chiefs, they just got lucky a lot of the season. They had a lot of close games, a lot of calls that went their way. We'll see if it stays like that in the playoffs or if it's more fair. But the Chiefs, they only got 1 loss on the season. But, yeah, you definitely got to go with the Bills. I mean, have you seen the stats for Josh Allen? His stats are insane for this year. Let's see if we can pull up the Bills real quick. Even though it is a little off topic, but let me see what the Bills got for Josh Allen. 'Cause I know his stats are insane. I think it's like one of his better years of his career, especially his touchdown to interception ratio. Josh Allen right here. Yeah, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Like, he's already passed for 3,500 yards. He's sitting at a 63% completion rate. I mean, that's crazy. And if you look at the rest of his career, is it his best? Does it show his career stats on here? Yeah, here they are. Yeah, last year he had 29 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. He had more touchdowns before, but he had like crazy amount of interceptions. So he's having an outstanding year, Josh Allen, he's out there. He's going to do his thing. He's going to be good for him. They might go far in the playoffs. We'll see. He said, bro, look at Burrow's stats. Oh, yeah, Burrow's having an outstanding year, too. Let's see what Burrow has. I know his stats got to be crazy. Let's see, Burrow right now. Yeah, 42 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That is insane. If this man had a surrounding cast and he had, like, a defense that could stop teams from, getting over 30 points, dude, their record would be insane. But, he said hot take, Burrow is the best. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if not, he's one of the top QBs in the NFL, I mean, it's between him and Lamar. I saw some crazy thing with Lamar, though. Lamar, he's number 1 in the league with throwing pass completions to open receivers, like wide open receivers. It's something like 38% of his passes or something like that is to a wide open receiver. And, some of that's because of his scrambling ability, right? You start scrambling to the outside, DBs drop off of coverage because they're trying to play the QB scramble. And then the receiver becomes wide open, right? So Joe Burrow doesn't have that. This man's just stuck in the pocket. So, he's just doing all arm. Look at that, 70% completion rate. That is insane right there. Even though he's been sacked 44 times, which is crazy. He said, well, Joe Burrow has been in the most 30 apiece games in the NFL. I believe that. Burrow would be MVP if he had a team. Yeah, I mean, let's look at the schedule. Let's see all these things real quick. Joe Burrow. Well, New England put up 16 on him. Kansas City put up 26. Washington put up 38 on him. They beat Carolina. They only put up 24, but Carolina is doo-doo. The Ravens they lost to, but the Ravens put up 41. I mean, they still end up putting 38 up, but, man, they put up 41 on them boys. They beat New York. New York, hey, they're trash, right? 2-win team. They only put up 7 points on them. Cleveland managed 14 points. Philadelphia, They put up 37. That's crazy. Vegas put up 24. Baltimore put up 35. The Rams put up 34. Steelers put up another 44 points. That's crazy. Dallas put up 20. Hey, Tennessee, we put up 27, baby. There we go. We almost put up 30 on them boys. It's probably one of our highest scoring games of the year. I think we only got over 30, I think twice this season, or maybe once. Cleveland put up 6, barely anything. Denver put up 24. He said, what do you think about the college football playoffs? Hey, college football playoffs, man, look, I am a Tennessee fan through and through, so obviously I bleed orange for them Vols, right? You got to go with the Vols, but we got whooped by Ohio State, man. I'm all about, SEC, the best conference in college football, and SEC is not looking not looking that good. You know, if you're talking about SEC schools, I mean, Georgia might have to hold it down for us because, it's a little tough right now for the SEC. I mean, Ohio State, how I seen them play, because you look at their schedule, it's like, man, they didn't really play anybody that good, but they beat the doors off of us. You know what I'm saying? He said that defense is horrid. Yes, I agree. The Bengals defense is horrible. He said, yeah. He said, I like Notre Dame. The format is whack. But yeah, Notre Dame, yeah, I like them. They did good. I mean, they won their game big, so we'll see how far they get. Notre Dame's one of those teams, though, because, they're an independent team. They don't really have a conference. Most of the time, they don't play really good schools. I mean, you saw back when they were really good with, like, Manti Te'o and stuff, and how they got beat down by Alabama, once they got to the championship game. Because normally their best school who they played throughout the years, like USC, and they haven't been good in a long time. So, I mean, who does Notre Dame really play? I mean, if we're getting really off topic here, let's look at Notre Dame's schedule just to see who they play. I know they haven't played anybody that good. I mean, they played Indiana, which we saw how Indiana did in the playoffs. Let's just be honest here. Indiana did not do very well. They got beat down. That was in the playoffs. Okay, yeah. So Indiana's not good, right? They got beat down by Notre Dame. In the regular season, where they played Texas A&M, Texas A&M is not that good. Northern Illinois, they lost to. It's like, okay. Purdue, everyone beat Purdue by like 60 points. I mean, you look at Purdue's schedule. I mean, they got whooped. Miami, Ohio, not even a real Miami team. Louisville, okay, that's a challenging opponent right there, which they kept it close. Stanford blew them out. Georgia Tech's actually decent sometimes. Sometimes they can come in and sneak up on you, but yeah, they beat Georgia Tech pretty good. Navy, a surprise good team, but y'all beat the doors off of Navy. Florida State, they're trash this year. They stomped Florida State. Virginia beat them. Army, that's sad for Army. Army, they were having a really good season. Got the doors beat off of them. And then, yeah, here's normally the best team y'all play each year is USC, but USC is trash. So hopefully they do well, but they got Georgia next. That's going to be a tough game. I mean, do you think Notre Dame can get past Georgia? If they get past Georgia, it's gonna prove Notre Dame's. They're going to prove that they're legit. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the game to prove they're legit. But I mean, that's Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a Georgia fan. Like, obviously they're one of our rivals in the SEC. He said Arizona State gets a first-round bye, and Alabama doesn't even get in. As a Tennessee fan, I just got to say, I am so glad Alabama did not get in the playoffs, right? We've beat them 2 of the last 3 times we played them, but I don't like Alabama. It's on the verge of I hate Alabama. It's like them and Florida, right? They're 2 big rivals for us. I'm glad Alabama didn't get in. After all the years of seeing Alabama get into the playoffs or win national championships, like the Saban era is over. Let's not get Alabama in the playoffs. I'm glad they are not in. He said for next year, it's a grind. Yeah, look at next year. Oh, you're talking about next year for the Notre Dame schedule? Let's see. Will they show it for next year in ESPN? They don't even have it on here yet. Without me having to Google it. Let's see. 2025 schedule. Let's see. Okay, let's see how you got it for next year. Next year, I got Miami. We'll see how they do with Cam Ward gone. They got Texas A&M, Purdue. They suck. Arkansas. Okay, SEC school. Okay. I mean, Arkansas beat us, right? They beat Tennessee this year, which was a surprise. Boise State. We'll see how they do once Genty's gone. USC Trojans. The Navy. Navy's, they're always a tough opponent because they got those weird offenses and stuff. Boston College, NC State, Syracuse, and Pitt. Pitt hasn't been good since the two-glove guy left. But, yeah, how far are we? We're 30 minutes till kickoff, though. We got way off topic over there. But 30 minutes till kickoff. We'll see how the Tennessee Titans do against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, we need to lose this game. It's just one of those games we need to lose because we got to get a top draft pick, right? And hopefully it's not an offensive lineman. That's something I don't want. If you see, there's our draft picks for last year. We ended up getting Latham. He's been solid for us this year. T. Sweat's been really good. Cedric Gray, we haven't seen this man at all. He's been injured. I mean, he played last week, and I think maybe the week before. Jarvis Landry Jr., he's been solid all year long. I mean, you saw that. He shut down Jamar Chase and Jefferson. Well, not really shut down, but held him under 100 yards, which is really good for a rookie. Jackson, he's been up and down. He's had fumbling issues on kick return and stuff like that. Haven't seen him. James Williams, he's played a little bit. He's been okay. And Jalen Harrell, he was a preseason standout. Haven't seen him since, right? He just stayed. He's good against practice squad players. That's all we can say. But we got him in the 7th round. So, hey, it is what it is with Jalen Harrell. So next year, we'll see how it does with this Ron Carthon. He seems pretty good at drafting players. He hasn't had crazy busts like John Robinson did when he was our GM. We're not getting the Isaiah Wilsons, the Caleb Farleys, or anything like that. So we can actually hopefully build our team, right? Because this is going to be the future of our team for the next 4 or 5 years of a lot of these players. So we need them to work out for us. We can't just pick up old free agents, and build a roster around them. But that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. Just make sure you go down below, leave a comment down below about how you feel about the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars and who you think is going to win this game. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tighten up, baby.